Now, the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, Amaju Pinnick, has commended the Oyo State government for remodeling the Lekan Salami Stadium, Adamasingba in Ibadan. He noted that any investment in sporting infrastructure, as was being done by the state government, would make the state a destination for sporting activities and boost socio-economic activities. Okay, well, I don't know if we're joined yet with the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Oyo State. We're not joined yet. His name is Oluwaseun Fakorede. He will be joining us later on the show. But I think renovation, building, restructuring of these things in the States are a good thing. I have gone to the Agege Stadium, and it's fantastic. You can actually sleep in the toilets. You can actually eat there. That's how good it is. And it's been like that for like 2-3 years now. And now the Lekan Salami Stadium is in Oyo State. And of course, it's being renovated to, well, world-class standard.
Well, never underestimate the impact that property development can have on a locality. The potential economic windfalls are as yet unknown.
We're looking at a stadium now, which, what really, I was going to ask him this, but when it comes on the show, what impact will this do to football, to the 3SC, their state government-owned? What will it do for them?
Well, first of all, let's start from the beginning, the grassroots. Football, it will be easier for grassroots training in Oyo State with this new development. Players, young players, and even schools will be able to host sporting events at this stadium with capacity crowds available to them. And as for the 3SC, I don't think it can be understated the impact and the dignity of having a home stadium as well furnished, as well developed as this can afford them. And when you have a capacity crowd in there, you can have true home court advantage or home field advantage against your opponents. And if this development suggests if it can be taken to be an indication of where the Oyo State government's intent lies when it comes to sports and development in the state, then this only bodes well.
We have the Commissioner for Youth and Sports. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
It's great to have you. Great to have you on the show, sir.
Yeah, same here, same here. Thank you very much.
Now, we're looking at the fact that Oyo State are doing a fantastic job, not only with the stadium now, in every sphere, but it's a sports program. So we're looking at the stadium this morning. Lekan Salami Stadium, what prompted the government to work so hard to make the stadium so attractive now?
All right, so I mean, it's actually bold on number one, an opportunity, to get youth out of the streets. And then if we're looking at, possibilities of creating opportunities for youth to be taken out of the streets, then you have to put in some sets, up some necessary apparatus. I mean, the Oyo State government is doing so much, in agriculture, because, I mean, that's one of, the pillars of this administration. So another thing that, a lot of youths have been engaged, in agriculture, in commerce, and another thing that we can actually engage, our youths with is, sports. And we all know the economic, importance and significance of, sports if maximized to the fullest. So that was actually what prompted that, okay, we cannot say we want, great, what was it called, in sports, development, and then we don't have, necessary facilities, to actually help us, complement that. So we said, okay, let us, start, from somewhere. And that was why, the remodeling of, Lekan Salami, Stadium, came to play precisely August, last year. And by the special grace of God, we are going to be commissioning that main bowl next month. And just like, every pictures and videos that, is all over the internet, today, I said, when we started that project, that it is going to be, by every sense, an international standard and facility. And that is what we have there. Sometimes last week or 2 weeks ago, we had the NFF president, Hamaju Pinnick, visit the facility. And in his word, he said, this is undoubtedly and unarguably one of the best stadium that we have in Nigeria today. So it's really, really a big one. And we know that, by the special grace of God, this is definitely going to, contribute, to the economy, development, of the states. As we all know, the possibilities that we have in sports and the business of sport.
Okay, now if you are just watching the show, it's Plus Sports and PlusTvAfrica. We've got the Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Oyo State, Oluwaseun Fakorede. And let me mention to you guys that this is the youngest commissioner in Nigeria so far as we speak. Okay, now, you see, I'm sorry to say this, Commissioner, but I always ask the funny questions. It's convenient for Nigerians and the Nigerian government to build things. We can buy the most expensive things. Maintenance has always been our problem.
True. So, it's going to be interesting to also say this, that, what we are doing there is because, we have an end goal in mind, and then we have, a plan. And the plan for that place is so that, you can actually contribute to the economy of the state. If we are investing billions of naira to bring up, that facility in that way, then it is not going to be wise, for us, to look, ahead, maybe, back in 2 years' time, and then we see that what we've expended billions on, it's not, the way it ought to be. So that is why, right from the beginning of this project, the sustainability angle has actually been put in place to make sure that everything that we have there is thoroughly, maintained and sustained. Because it is not just that, we just want to build a beautiful facility or an edifice just to be able to score some, cheap political, goals. No, it is to serve the people and to contribute to the economy of the state. And anything that brings you money, anything that actually improves, the economy, you will definitely want to take care of it. So this is one of our babies. This is one of, the drivers to, that will drive, a better economy for the state. So whatever it takes, to be able to maintain this. And we are not just, we're not just interested in Ibadan. We are not promising that, okay, everything that we are going to do there, it is going to be our administration, and when we leave, we cannot tell. We are also going to put down structures that it is going to be very, very hard for anybody to actually bring down, even when this administration, it's done with, what's it called, with, a service. So the people that are coming, they will definitely meet a formidable structure that is not difficult to run, that is easy to run and to maintain. So that is, our goal, and that is what we are working with. I've had a lot of people say, especially on Twitter, that, it's not about building a beautiful stuff like that. And of course, we all know that there is always, this drawback, when it comes to the properties of the government, because, it's like, okay, nobody really cares, and, whatever happens to it, it's not, a big deal afterwards. But for a responsive and responsible government, that, look, this is the taxpayers' money. So, you have to be able to, take proper account, of it, and then to say that, look, whatever we've expended there, we have to, and one of the things that we even plan to do is to give people records that, okay, you remember when we started this project that, about almost 6 billion was expended on this project. So far, so good. At the end of the first year, this is what this facility has been able to bring as, an ROI, to the state, and that's where people would further, believe in the government, because what we see today is that, there's a strong trust deficit between, the government and the people. So when you want to say, okay, I'm expending so much money on a particular project, people feel that, or maybe you just want to use that opportunity to embezzle funds, or you want to use that opportunity to just cut away. But when you give them reports that this is an investment, so this, huge amount of money that has been expended on this, just 2 years, just 3 years, down the line, we have been able to even recover times 2 or times 3. So by the time you come back again to say that, okay, this is the next project, we are doing, the people have the confidence that you are going to deliver, and not that you are only going to deliver, you are going to be accountable at every step to let them know what exactly you are doing.
My question now, before my partner comes and asks his question, is that you are the Commissioner for Youth and Sports. Now,
Yes.
Building a new stadium, does that transform into ensuring that sports in Oyo State becomes great? First off, 3SC, the State's football club, of course. And of course, are we going to see Oyo State coming second or third, maybe in the sports festival in a few years to come? Since we have...
I mean, just like I said, I mean, in the history of Oyo State, I mean, this, our recent outing at the National Sports Festival was the best that we've had so far. And a lot of people ask, me that what is the magic? What are we doing, differently from what has been done in the past? And I simply tell them that it is the ability to be more conscious and to be more available to the people. Now, when people see that, you are more, concerned about their welfare, they want to do better. And I tell people that, look, one of the strategies that we've employed, especially when it comes to administration here in Oyo State, is before we make the people touch the work, we first of all touch their hearts. So, I mean, that serves as a motivation, for them. So for all the players, one of the first things that we did is to make sure that all their, allowances, their dividends, their, what's it called, their salaries, we met the backlog of allowances that were unpaid. We made sure that we first of all dealt with that. So that is why in Oyo State, you can't have a situation, nobody can say, oh, they are building stadium, and the people are hungry. We're not building the stadium and then we are owing salaries. No. So all those things are things that have actually contributed, to the kind of, motivation that these people, work with. So that's why they can go, there and then, do their best to bring the best result. So by the special grace of God, Oyo State, we look forward to hosting, the National Sports Festival.
Amen.
Look at how 3SC is doing today. 3SC is on top of, their group today. And that has been a long time that we really had that kind of record for 3SC. So things are really working, and it's our duty to just make sure that we institute more facilities to actually back this up.
Commissioner, before we let you go, my partner has a question for you, and then we can let you go, sir.
Good morning.
We are very busy.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, sir.
On this show, we often talk about the lack of investment in youth sports development in this country. I can only hope that this stadium is an indication of your intent to rectify those old misconceptions. Let's not call them misconceptions. So what I want to know is, how do you see this new stadium, this redevelopment, how do you see it fostering development of sporting events for the youth in Oyo State?
All right, so sincerely, just like I said, that this is just one of our approach, considering the bigger picture in our minds. So for all our youths, definitely what we have there, when you look at the history, I'm a student of history. When you look at the history, you see, the number of, talents that Oyo State has been able to produce nationwide and, globally. In tennis, in basketball, in football, in, board games and all. So, and then when you now look at that, you look at the data, and then you see that at some point, we started dropping, and you ask questions that what are those things that are responsible for this, decline? And those are the questions that we had to answer ourselves, and that was what gave, birth to doing these things that we are doing. So I can assure anybody, and I'm not just assuring with people with just, I'm assuring them with data, that look, you know, at the end of, you know, after the completion and the full, you know, running of this, you know, facility and this facility, and Adamasingba is not, you know, that's just one out of the many things that we are doing at the moment. It will interest you that we have 6 other mini stadia that we are actually, you know, that by the special grace of God is going to be commissioned on or before the year. I mean, I still, you know, visited, you know, the one in Oluwaseun just yesterday. I see the level of work, you know, that is, you know, going on there. So there is no way this will not contribute to the development of the youth, because, I mean, most of the people that are going to be using these facilities anyway, you know, they are our youth. So it is just to tell them that, look, there is hope again. There is future for that thing that, you know, you are doing. I mean, it's wrong, you know, for us to have, you know, youths that maybe they are good, you know, with swimming, and then the state doesn't even have a proper, you know, standard, you know, swimming pool. So if we don't have those kind of facilities and arrangement for them, we cannot demand for them to be the best. Because when they go into competitions, they are perhaps going, you know, to train with people that have actually, they are used to training, you know, in Olympic standard facilities. And then these are people that they don't even the improvisation that we can actually give, it doesn't even meet, you know, any standard at all. So doing all these things will significantly, you know, boost their confidence, you know, boost their, you know, morale to be able to, you know, represent us well. And this automatically will definitely, you know, bring significant, you know, economic returns, you know, to the state.
Commissioner, I want to thank you very much for giving us your time out of your busy schedule. We know how busy you are. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
God bless you.